the question was $95, but there's a 5% increase. So what's the new price? Now, I don't want you to just get to the answer, because I'm going to tell you, if you have a percent button on your calculator, if you don't think you do, on your phone, turn it sideways, and you probably do. You could easily put 95 plus 5%, and as soon as you hit the percent button, it's going to tell you the answer. This will not work for your test, because you're going to have to show me some operation that you've done on paper, and you're going to have to be able to explain it. So you can totally use that, though, to check to see if you're right, which is good. Knowing the right answer will help you, but you need to be able to reason it out. So let's look at what's actually happening in this question. What do I really need to know? What's the thing I have to figure out? Go? 5% of what? Sure. So, Mr. Sweeney?
5% of 95.
5% of 95. If I know, ladies, if I know 5% of 95, I'll know what the increase was, and then I can just add that back to 95 and I'll be good. Yeah, can you wait? Because I know what your way is probably going to be, and I want to do it second. Okay? So, first, I could just find 5% of 95. How would I find that? Go? Of. Right. 95 times 0.05. What was done here? Go? Right. It was divided by 100, or effectively, I converted my percent to decimal. Decimals are easy to smash into your calculator, so the percent to decimal conversion will be important. And again, it's just move the decimal to that way. So once I did this, I think it's 475. So what is 475?
5%.
I need a hand.
5%.
Go?
5% of 95.
Right, it's 5% of 95, but what is it in the problem? Go? Yeah, it's the value that the increase was. It's the cash value of that 5% increase. 5% increase means an extra 475. So I add that on. Equals 99.75. Mr. Wrench, do you want to explain what you were thinking?
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, okay.
The way I did this.
There is another way. I want you to think about it this way. If 95 was 100% of my original price, which it is, what is the new percent that I have now? 105%, right? Because there's a 5% increase. So I could accept the fact that my new price is 105. What's 105% as a decimal?
1.05.
1.05. Now, I could just skip a step and find what is 105% of 95. And if I do that, what's that going to get you? Anyone want to do 1.05 times 95? So that's the same final answer, except without the figuring and adding. If you're good at that kind of concept, well, what percent do I actually have now of the price I'm considering? You'll be okay. Yeah. So, okay. It doesn't make a difference. Now, boys at the back. Shh. Does anyone want to explain it? If I give you this?
You can explain, I'll just tell you. Which one?
Oh, you want me to write, but you're going to just talk? All right, that's fine. The second one. We start with a sweater. That's fine. We start with a sweater. That's $75. There's a 1/3 discount, and the tax rate is 13%. And we want to know what we're going to pay at the end and what the actual taxes are. Anybody want to try? Okay, go. What do I think? What am I thinking first?
Alright, so $35, and then you have to take away 1/3 of it.
I'm going to take away 1/3 of $75?
So
Okay.
it's pretty much $25.
It is $25. It's not even pretty much 25. It's exactly 25.
Oh,
Why?
yeah, it is 25.
Why is it 25?
Because that's what.
Touchdown? Pardon?
It's third.
Good. Who thought 75 is three quarters of money? And if I remove one of those three, I would have 2 quarters left, it'd be 50. That's fine, those are friendly numbers, and if you did that, that makes sense. But there's something I need you to consider in terms of format for numbers that are less friendly. If I need to know a third of 75, what do I do? Of 75.
75 times a third.
Right. Now, some people will convert that to a decimal. I would not in this case. If I'm given a fraction and I can multiply it by the original number, I would just do that because it's easier. And it's more accurate than converting. A third as a decimal is going to be 0.33333333 forever. But a third is exactly what it is. So I would do that multiplying right off the bat. 75 times a third equals, 75 times 1 is 75. 1 times 3 is 3. I do that division, it's 25.
Why did you 75 divided by 3?
So I could just, well, that's where I ended up.
Yeah, I know.
What is that 25? Can I get a hand?
It's 1/3.
Go. It is a third, but what is that 1/3? What does $25 represent here? The amount of the discount, the amount of money I saved because of the sale. There was a sale. So, sorry about the writing, it's hard to do.
More than that.
So now that I have that, what do I do next? Mr. Wrench?
Then, like, you add 13% onto that.
Add 13% onto 25?
No, no, that you, because the answer will be 50.
Oh, so what do I have to do to get that?
Yeah, it's just 50 plus 13%.
But how did you get 50 is what I'm asking.
Because, yeah, we just did that. 75.
I haven't done it yet.
75 minus 25.
There we go.
50 plus 13%.
Good. Now 75 minus 25. This is my original price. Take away the sale value, the amount I saved. It's going to give me a new price. So, we're at $50. That's the price after the discount, so now I have to add tax on.
That's how much you actually
What is the tax?
6.5.
It's what?
6.5.
Yeah, how do you find it? I know it's 13% tax. So what do I actually have to do?
You have to take away the 50.
Go?
0.13 times 50.
Sure. I have to find 13% of my 50. So he did 0.13 because he converted it to a decimal times 50 equals 6.5. So that's $6.50. And this is the amount of tax I paid. So my total price will be 50 plus 6.5 equals 56.5. And that's my total price. So, what are you guys thinking? Go, Julia.
Switch 25% into a decimal,
Okay.
0.25, and then times it by 150, the original price, which gives you 40.
So what was your original price?
180.
No, I sold my rare hats for 180. That's the price I sold for.
Yeah.
Okay, and that was 25% less than my original price.
Oh, oops. I
Yeah. So what's the answer then?
like the original.
The final answer that you come up with, yeah.
225.
225? Okay. I'm going to show you guys what I think. Okay? Yeah, good. The answer is not 225. It is harder than I thought. Good.
Is it 45?
Is the answer 45? No. The answer is 240.
How?
How? Okay. There's a few ways you can think about this. If I take if I give you a discounted price, I don't tell you how much the discount was. I don't tell you how much the original price was. I only tell you how much the discounted price was.
Oh, it has to be.
Then you actually have a bit of problem solving to do. So I told you that the price was 180 bucks and that was a 25% loss. Shh, boys at the back. Which means 180 is not 100% of my original price. Because 180 has a 25% discount already taken off. So, how much of my price is 180? Like how much of my original price, the original value, go? It's 75% because 25% has been removed. So 100% minus the 25% equals 75%. So I know that 180 is 75%. Okay? So I would think this way. 180 equals 75% of something. I don't know what that something is yet. But I can do a few things here. So, can someone convert 75% into something I could use? 3/4 I could use, or 0.75, and that's the one I'm going to use. 0.75 of something. What is of? And I'm even going to call this P for a price. What does of mean? Multiply. So 180 actually equals 0.75 times P. Good? I still don't know what P is though. Well, I do. That sounds awful. I don't know what the price is. But here's the thing. If I want to get price by itself, so that I know what it is, how do I get rid of a times 0.75? I have this multiplying. Now I can, to get rid of that 0.75, I'm going to divide by 0.75. So now I have 180 divided by 0.75 equals P. Does that make sense? And now what's that going to be? 180 divided by 0.75, 240? It is not 225. 240?
1,040.
I certainly hope not.
It's 179. Wait, give me 5.
179?
180.
I think you subtracted.
No, what does it say? Oh,
Divide.
Yeah, 240.
Yeah, good. Woo! 240. I'm not crazy.